Hi everyone, my name is Preeti, Department of EC, pursuing my education in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bangalore. So let us know about bipolar junction transistor. Contents: Introduction, BJT operation, NPN transistor operation, PNP transistor operation, conclusion. So, what is bipolar junction transistor? Introduction. Bipolar junction is a type of transistor that uses both electrons and holes to conduct electricity. In bipolar junction transistor, it has three layers: the emitter, base, collector. The base is a control terminal and the emitter and collector are the input and output terminals. The bipolar junction transistor can be used as a switch or an amplifier. The transistor can be used for a current amplification. It can also perform a voltage amplification. The transistor has two p-n junctions. The current that flows in a transistor are similar to those that follow across a signal p-n junction. The transistor equivalent circuit is essential to p-n junction equivalent circuits. In bipolar junction transistor, there are three sets of current voltage characteristics for defining the performance of a transistor. In BJT operations, there are two types, PNP and NPN transistor. A bipolar junction transistor is a sandwich of one type of a semiconductor materials between two layers of the opposite type. The block representation of a layer of a p-type materials between two layers of n-type is in a figure. This is an NPN transistor. The figure shown in a NPN transistor consists of the layer of a n-type materials between two layers of the p-type. The central layer is called base. One of the outer layer is termed the emitter and the outer layer is refers to as the collector. In BJT operations, the emitter, base, collector are provided with the terminals are labeled E, B and C. Two p-n junction exist in each transistor, the collector base junction and the emitter base junction. Current symbols for PNP and NPN transistor are shown in a figure. The arrowhead on each symbol identifies the transistor emitter terminals and indicates the conventional direction of current flows. An NPN transistor, the arrowhead points from the p-type base to the n-type emitter. For a PNP device, the arrowhead points from the p-type emitter to the n-type base. The arrowhead always points from p to n. In BJT, there are two transistors, low power transistor and high power transistor. These are shown in these figures. So low power transistor generally passes current from 1 milliampere to 20 milliampere. Current leaves from high power transistor range from 100 milliampere to several amperes. So the high power transistor is designed for mechanical connection to heat sink in order to prevent the device from overheating. In this figure, there are NPN transistor diagram and PNP transistor diagram. So now let us know about NPN transistor operation. The NPN bipolar junction transistor operates by controlling the flow of electrons from the emitter to the collector. When a voltage is applied to the base emitter junction, it allows a small current to flow from the emitter to the collector. In NPN, the base emitter voltage controls the flow of current from the emitter to the collector, which makes the transistor act as a switch or an amplifier. In the transistor, electrons are emitted into the base region, hence the name emitter. Holes also flow from the p-type base to the n-type emitter. but because the base is a much more lightly doped than the collector. Almost all the current flowing across the BE junction consists of electrons entering the base from the emitter in a NPN transistor operation. Thus, electrons are the majority charge carries in an NPN device. So, now PNP transistor operation. The PNP dipolar junction transistor operates in a similar way to the NPN transistor, but the different polarity in a PNP transistor, the majority charge carries are holes when moved from the emitter to the collector. When a voltage is applied to the base emitter junction, it allows a small current of flow of the emitter to the collector. The base emitter voltage controls the flow of current from the emitter to the collector, which makes the transistor act as a switch or an amplification. Some of the holes from out the base terminal the must drawn across the control by the positive negative electric field at the reverse bias CB junction. Variation of the forward bias voltage at the BE junction controls the small base current and the much larger collector of emitter currents in PNP transistor operations. So this is a PNP transistor operation diagram. So forward bias is BE junction and reverse bias is CB junction. This is a hole emitter into the bias and holes collector from the bias in P-type. So conclusion of this BJT operation, bipolar junction transistor are electronics device that can be used as a switch or an amplifier in a variety of electronics circuits. BJT comes into two types, NPN and PNP, which have different polarities and operates in slightly different waves. The NPN transistor is most common used that in a PNP transistor because it has a high current gain. BJTs can be used in a wide range of electronics applications such as in amplifier, power supplies and digital logging circuits. Thank you.